So hey guys, today we're doing a bit of analysis. So today we're focusing on Purrely and Kashtira. So right now people are saying like these decks are good or whatever, and I'm here saying if they're good, I have some specific decks that completely destroy them. Well, yeah, for the most part, these cards trade really well into Kashtira cards and Purrely cards. So we have Kurikara, Divincarnate, we have Flying Sea, Ghost Reaper, and Winter Cherries, and we have Contact Sea. So the noticeable thing about Flying Sea and Contact Sea is there's no hard ones per turn. And when it comes to Kurikara Divincarnate, the special summon is also not hard once per turn. Which is somewhat like, maybe it's relevant, maybe it's not, it's probably not relevant, but it isn't. And that makes playing 3 of any of these not feel as bad. And these things here, all these here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You can have 3 copies of these, and as like a Kashtira or Purrely player, there is very little counterplay for Contact Sea or Flying Sea. So, notably, you don't perform actual XYZ summons with like Purrely, but whatever. And a lot of Purrely players will not run Link monsters, but even if you did, this will still hurt you if I Contact Sea you. So Purrely, since you do a lot of just special summoning of your main deck monsters from literally your deck, not a super big deal for you if you get like Contact Seed, as much as, for example, Kashtira, where if you, for example, were to special summon Fenrir, I can then go ahead and special summon Contact Sea, and then let's say you do Book of Moon this, I will summon another Contact Sea when you summon your next monster, because you require 2 monsters to XYZ summon after all. And with Fenrir, the only card you can special summon after this is like Rise Heart, and then you will literally pass on Fenrir Rise Heart. And even if, for example, you do have like the ability to remove my like, I guess, monster, like stop my play, like miraculously, considering I still have like 4 cards in hand and you only have like single Fenrir, then yeah, you're stuck with Contact Sea still. I guess you could do like Fenrir, like add, I don't know, Unicorn or something, and then tribute summon over like both copies of Contact Sea in this case, but pretty awful situation to be in general. And then of course Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. You can banish Purrely Plump or Kashtira Shangri-Ira from your opponent's like respective lists. And that, well, yeah, that leaves the deck in a pretty unplayable state. And of course, it's like 3 of Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries versus 2 of Coldba, and you do need like some extra deck space where you like left open so you can actually have these like garnets you can't actually summon, more or less, for Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. So in case your opponent is playing either Purrely or I guess Kashtira, both of these targets are pretty damning to banish them. They're pretty unplayable if either of these get banished, I would say. For Purrely, I guess like another acceptable like target is Noir, but if you banish Plump, chances are I don't think they can go into Noir without Purrely Plump. So not a super big deal. And of course, your opponent will be going out of their way to go for Plump to begin with. So let's do like a theoretical chain here. Let's say we have Purrely here. Our opponent probably summoned Purrely to add like, I don't know, My Friend. And then they will My Friend add Purrely Delicious Memory. So all you have to do is in chain to Purrely, activate Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. And then you discard Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries, banishing Purrely Plump. And then your opponent has to be depressed. Does this target? Let us see. You can target. Okay, so their hard ones per turn, of course, Purrely effect to XYZ summon is not going to be usable anymore, so they'll have to somehow grab Purrely Delicious Memory into their hand. I guess they might get lucky with Purrely and excavate a Delicious Memory, but they have 2 left in deck now, if any, right? To go into Delicious Memory to try to go into Plump? Is that what you're thinking? Well, no, Plump is gone now. They can't make Plump. So now they'll have to go into a different card. So they need to add a Purrely card and special summon Purrely, and then go into either Beauty or Happiness. Probably trying to go into Beauty if possible, but Beauty's effects are not like super relevant. It is just like a single monster negate, which is pretty manageable, and for like Kashtira, it's just like banish one card. But if you do Contact Sea or like Flying Sea, for example, they will end on even less than that. They will end on essentially nothing. More so Purrely than Kashtira, because like their main deck monsters are essentially just worse. They are completely useless and do nothing. But like for Kashtira, you have your Fenrir, you have your Unicorn, so you're doing a little bit better. Notably, just a little bit. You will not be doing that well, obviously, if you just can't even make Shangri-Ira and you just pass on literally like just Fenrir. Not that passing on Fenrir does much for you to begin with. But yeah, all of these techs should pretty solidly destroy Kashtira or Purrely. And also, like, let's see. If Mikanko does start seeing play, like, honestly, Mask of Restrict, if you're playing, like, a heavy combo deck, honestly, just consider playing 3 of Mask of Restrict. It is pretty, like, bad getting Kaijus and, like, Lava Golemed and, like, Sphere Moded. This just helps you deal with all of that, and that's just huge. I guess this is just worth mentioning with the rest of this. So this kind of applies to this. Of course, like, Kaijus and stuff work as well, but Kurikara trades for more than a Kaiju ever could. So I am going to tribute over, let's say, for example, Shangri-Ira, and then let's say my opponent special summoned Fenrir, which is fine, right? I don't care that much. Then we can go ahead and summon Kurikara Incarnate. This does not start a chain anywhere, like, except during the end phase. So I can just go battle, and this will be 3k 3k, and I can just attack over Fenrir or Unicorn 100% of the time, and then summon back either Fenrir or Unicorn in whichever case, whichever one my opponent summoned off of Shangri-Ira. Doesn't really matter. And then we're very favored to win, obviously. And then, of course, aside from that play, for example, with, like, Purrely, there's a good chance they, like, why would you not activate Sleepy Memory Effect? So Sleepy Memory Effect is once per turn during your opponent's standby phase, you can draw 1 card, and that counts. They activated a monster effect on the field this turn. That would apply to both Shangri-Ira and Plump. So tribute over them, so I'm thinking mostly I would recommend Incarnate because it seems like it'll be a fairly good going second card. Like, I might craft 3 of these later. It's just unfortunate I didn't get any of them from the selection, but it happens, I guess. Ghost Reprint Winter Cherries, although more niche, can be, like, significantly more brutal when it resolves, but Contact Sea and Flying Sea are more budget friendly, and of course, they're just pretty good, I guess. Like, they weren't as good against, like, 2 elements because it's actually possible to play around Contact Sea and just make it constantly miss timing, which is just stupid, but whatever. If you happen to be playing around Contact Sea, I guess. Div Incarnate is just generally useful, more so than, like, Contact Sea. Contact Sea can actually help your opponent depending on what they're playing. Like, it won't necessarily benefit you. Like against Sprite, they can just link this off for, like, Sprite Elf and just be perfectly fine. And Contact Sea will not stop their play unless you have, like, 3 copies of Contact Sea in hand or something and you special summon all 3 to your opponent's field. So, something crazy like that. That sounds fairly dumb, but yeah. That's all I've got for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.